Here's something nobody tells you when you're starting out on Amazon. You can do everything right, great product research, strong offer, solid profit margins on paper, and still never make a single sale. Because if you can't get past the sourcing step, then none of it really matters. And the sourcing step is where I see most people freeze more than anywhere else. And it's not because it's the hardest part, because it's not, but because it's the first time that the whole thing stops feeling like research and starts to feel real. You're about to talk to an actual factory that's in another country about investing real money. And that's different than adding products to your research funnel. I've coached over 600 sellers through this exact moment, and the ones who push through it, even awkwardly, even nervously, they're the ones who end up with a real product. But the ones who wait until they feel ready usually wait a long time. So today I'm gonna make it much easier. Now here's why this video matters. You can do all the product research in the world. You can find a great opportunity, build out your super selling points, run all the numbers, but none of that really matters or means anything if you can't get the product made. Sourcing is the bridge between a product idea and an actual business. And a lot of people stall out right here, not because it's actually hard, but because it feels hard before you've actually done it. Now, the other thing I want to address right away is the fear around getting scammed. I hear this all the time, like, what if I send money and they just disappear? That, of course, is a real concern, and I'm going to show you exactly how Alibaba protects you from that. So let's start at the beginning. What actually is Alibaba? The simplest way I can describe it is this. Imagine a massive trade show. Thousands of booths, each one a factory or manufacturer that can produce almost any physical product that you can think of. So that's home goods, pet supplies, sports equipment, kitchen products, outdoor gear. All of it is there. Except this trade show runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you can access it from your couch. That is Alibaba. It's been around for decades. It handles a huge volume of global trade every single year. And here's something that might surprise you. A lot of the products that you see on Amazon right now, the ones that you've bought yourself, were actually sourced by sellers on Alibaba. So it's not some underground thing. It's just how private label works. Now, most of the suppliers you're going to work with are going to be in China. And I want to talk about that for a second because some people feel weird about it, or they wonder if there's a better option that's out there. And here's my take after almost 10 years in this business. China's manufacturing infrastructure is genuinely incredible. Entire regions of the country specialize in specific product types. So there are factories that have been making the same category of product for 20 or 30 years. The supply chains are established, the production is super efficient, and the pricing is competitive in a way that is really hard to match anywhere else. And that's not me being a cheerleader for it. That's just the reality of why so many private label brands, big and small, source there. Now, there are other countries on Alibaba as well, like Vietnam or India, Turkey, Mexico's on there. And as you grow and get more experience, it's absolutely worth exploring there. But for your first product, China is absolutely where you want to start because, like I said, the infrastructure's there, the options are there, and the process is well worn. Okay, now let's talk about the elephant in the room. A lot of new sellers are scared of Alibaba, and that fear usually comes in a few different flavors, like what if I get scammed, or what if the product is terrible quality, or what if I can't communicate with the suppliers, or what if I send thousands of units overseas and nothing shows up? These are all legitimate concerns, of course, and I'm not going to dismiss them, but here's what I want you to understand. Alibaba has built-in protections specifically because they know buyers have these concerns. And the biggest one is called trade assurance, and we're going to look into that in just a minute. The other thing I want to say is this. The fear of Alibaba is almost always bigger than the reality of it. Once you're actually in there messaging suppliers, getting responses back, it really starts to feel surprisingly normal because these are real people running real businesses. They want your order and they want to do a good job as well. And most of them are not just sitting there trying to figure out ways to scam a first-time seller. The ones who actually are sketchy are usually pretty easy to spot. And I'm going to show you exactly what to look for when it comes to that. So enough talking. Let's jump onto Alibaba together right now. I'm going to walk you through exactly how I search for suppliers, the filters I pay attention to, and how I evaluate supplier profiles, as well as the things that actually matter when you're trying to source your first product. Let's go. Alrighty guys, so we are ready to start finding our suppliers on Alibaba.com, which is very exciting. Now, if you have an account with Alibaba already, of course, you could just sign in right here. But as I'm sure many of you have maybe not used Alibaba.com before, you can just come down here and go to create an account. And creating an account is super easy. You can either just sign in with one of these socials up here, or do the email route, and then they just send you a email verification, you sign up. So what we're going to do is I'll just come over here, seeing as how I have an account that I've been using for about 8 years now. So this one's got a lot of data and suppliers on it. As you can see, I've got lots of messages here from different suppliers and a couple active orders. So what we're going to do is just go over the Alibaba interface. So let's start with typing in a keyword from this particular listing here. So cupcake stand, 450 cupcakes, 4-tier wooden, let's do 4-tier wooden cupcake display stand. I'll type that in. Very similar to Amazon, you are going to have certain luck with certain keywords, and other keywords may not be as solid, right? So you almost want to try different keywords as you would with Amazon, like when you're trying to find your true competitors, for example, because it's all in the keywords. And a lot of times you're going to see that maybe the keyword you typed in or the keyword you would type in on Amazon is not always the best fit. So sometimes it's good to just switch it up, because sometimes it's just a language barrier. Like they're not using the same keywords that you would use to describe that product necessarily. But it looks like we're starting to have some luck here. So let's just talk about this search results page first here. What you can see is that, yes, some products are exactly what we're looking for, like this one over here. By the way, this is in Mexican pesos because I live in Mexico, but we can change that to the US dollar. There we are. Now, a couple things. So we can see that we're having some success already with the type of product that we were looking at, because this is exactly what we were looking at in a previous video. This one's very similar too. It's just got a different sort of aesthetic design to it, probably a different type of wood. We can see some more down here. And then there's some other ones that are slightly different styles, but you can see they're all still wooden cupcake display stands for the most part. We saw this one as well. So there's tons of options here on this particular page. So the first thing I would do is start opening up the ones that look interesting to you. So I would open up this one, I would open up this one, and so on and so forth. But let's just first talk about some of the different things we're seeing on this page. Now, up here you can see there's some, let's call it common keywords, that if you click on it, it's going to actually start to filter those out and separate them from the other ones, which can be very handy, specifically if you want to have a wooden one, which is definitely what we are looking for in this particular case. Now, we also have some of these are supplier filters here. So let's talk about these. Now, the trade assurance is absolutely one I want you to be considering, because with Alibaba trade assurance, you're essentially having an insurance of sorts with your order. So if a supplier has Alibaba trade assurance, what they are agreeing to with you is that your first order is going to meet certain requirements. And these are all going to be mapped out during the placing an order phase, whereby you are expecting a certain amount of units of a certain amount of quality, certain amount of specs that you agree on, and so on and so forth. And if those specs are not met, you are entitled to a refund for that order. So that's essentially what trade assurance is insurance on your order. Now, for your first order, I absolutely recommend that you do go with trade assurance, because you haven't necessarily worked with the supplier yet, and you just want to make sure that you're on the same page. And not to say that if you don't have trade assurance, they're just going to take your money and run, so to speak, but it is nice to have that assurance that they also have a further vested interest in this order, making sure that you are happy. So it's always good to have that on the first order, and you'll pay through Alibaba if that's the case, and then Alibaba will be the first in line if there are any issues that you want to bring up. So let's filter by that. So the next filter we have is MOQ less than 5. So we don't want to do that, because we're looking for absolutely more than 5 units we want to sell. Verified supplier. This is essentially just saying that Alibaba knows who this supplier is, and they've been verified through other orders from people like you on Alibaba, customers buying their products, sourcing their products from X factory, and essentially just verifying that they are who they say they are. This is not essential to have clicked, because in my experience, I've ordered from non-verified suppliers before. Like this one, for example, you can see they've been on Alibaba for 9+ years. they've got ratings and all this sort of stuff. So it's not essential to have this clicked, although if you do want that extra peace of mind, I suppose you can have that. Same thing with this, 5+ years experience on Alibaba. That's not a bad thing to have clicked if you're looking for a supplier with more experience. The only one I would stay cautious of is ones with less than a year, because they really just do not have a lot of data as far as Alibaba trading goes. So they would be the fresher suppliers that I would be a little bit more careful of. But you know, if they have over a year experience, they have some orders that you can see, then you're in better hands, I would say, than certainly someone with a lot less experience. And then these other ones here, I'm not going to get into these right now. The on-time delivery, this is all very dependent on who's ordering it, when they're ordering it, how much they're ordering it. So we're not going to get into this stuff right here because it's a little bit, I would say, unnecessary to discuss right now. And then you also have this more filters area here where you can add in some different minimum requirements as far as MOQs, that's the minimum order here, different price ranges you want to stick to, different countries, different product certifications that they may or may not have depending on the product and the materials. So there's a lot of other stuff you can get into here. Again, this is a little bit too much to go through right now. The main ones, all you need to know is that trade assurance, verified supplier, and experience on Alibaba is all that matters. So you can get a glimpse of that too down here, by the way. If you hover over their supplier name, you can see the company, where they're located, and you can see other types of information about that company. So their total trading staff, supplier assessment procedures, check. This is all good. And then you can go into more detail if you want by opening them up. We're not going to do that right now. Let's just keep going down the list of what we're actually seeing here. Now, the next two metrics I want to point out are the price and the minimum order, or the MOQ as it's often described. So let's talk about the price first. Now, this says $499 to $599. Now, obviously that is a huge price, and it's because it's a huge item, right? It's this massive display counter for a bakery by the looks of it, right? So this very, very big item. Now, that is why it's so expensive, of course, but it's also why there's only a minimum order of 1 unit, because that would be completely unrealistic to expect that you're going to order 1,000 pieces, especially on your first order, right? So something like that just doesn't make sense because, they're probably buying it for one bakery, so 1 unit. But something like this, obviously it makes more sense that they are doing some private label selling, like selling on Amazon, for example, and a minimum order of 1,000 pieces is not unreasonable, okay? So this one here you can see is $1 to $3. This one here is $9.60 with a minimum order of 200 pieces, and so on and so forth. So one thing I want to make perfectly clear right now is that none of these numbers actually matter, okay? Like, you may look at this and go, okay, I'm going to start, as you get into the next videos, run profit calculations on this, right? Because you might go on Amazon and see, all right, well, this person here, for example, I know what the dimensions are, I know what the price is, and now I know what the cost price is, right? So maybe I can start to fudge some numbers in the profit calculator, and you're getting ahead of yourself, so to speak. But what I would advise is just, take all these numbers here with a grain of salt, because what this actually is saying is that, at one point they quoted 960. At one point they quoted 489. But you can see certainly in this case that this is a range. And again, it really depends on the MOQ how much that price is going to be, because $699 would be for 100 sets, and then the more that you order, it could get down to $489, or maybe that is the baseline quality, but if you want something more premium, it goes up to $699. They're just giving you a very, very rough range, but it really does not mean anything at this stage, okay? Just want to make that clear as well. Anywho, let's talk about the actual products, okay? So when you're on the page and you're starting to glance and see all this information with the suppliers, the first thing I want you to do, because we've already filtered by trade assurance, right? I'll just stick to that for the sake of this video. I'm going to start opening up tabs, okay, of these suppliers that look interesting to me as far as the style of product that I am looking to launch, okay? So that almost looks like the exact same one we have up here on this Amazon page, right? Very close. And this one is here as well. I'm probably just going to stick with those ones for this video. Let's do maybe one more. Let's see if there's another 4 tier. That appears to be it on this page for that style. So I'm just going to open up those. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, with those particular ones that I opened up, what I would say is open up as many as you can, okay? If you find 15 suppliers, I would open up 15 tabs and just start messaging them. All right, so let's bring this whole thing together. Alibaba is not a scary place. It is a marketplace, and it's a big one at that, with real factories and real people who really want to work with you. And the biggest takeaway I want you to have after watching this video is that sourcing is never as intimidating as it feels before you actually start. The first supplier message always feels scary, the 10th one feels normal, and the 100th one feels routine. And that's true for almost everything in business. The people who succeed are not the ones who never feel nervous, they're the ones who take action before they feel completely ready. If you take one thing from this video, let it be this. Don't let the fear of sourcing stop you from building a real business. Now, in the next video, I'm going to show you exactly how to message suppliers. I'm going to tell you what to say in your first messages, the questions you should be asking, the information you need to collect for profit calculations, and how to manage multiple supplier conversations without it becoming overwhelming. Because that's where this starts to feel real, when you're actually talking to suppliers and realizing that it's just a conversation. If this video helped, hit the like button. It genuinely helps more people find this channel. And subscribe if you want to follow along, because in the next video, I will actually be recording myself talking to these suppliers about a real product. So you don't want to miss that one. And if you want to go deeper with me and a community of sellers who are actively building Amazon businesses right now, go check out the free Grow With FBA school community, and the link for that is in the description below. Alrighty, go get familiar with Alibaba, and I will see you in the next video.